This is $1,000. In America, one of the richest countries on earth, 50 million people survive on this or less every single month. Rent, food, transportation, utilities, emergencies. How do you fit all of that into $1,000? I wanted to find out. I took 30 days. I set a hard cap, $1,000. No skipping bills. I documented every single dollar, and what I found genuinely shocked me. The average American spends $3,200 a month just to exist. I had 1/3 of that. By day 12, I was already in crisis mode. This video isn't about poverty tourism. It's not a flex. It's an honest look at what millions of people deal with every day. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where the money went, the 3 biggest mistakes I made, and the one thing I'd do completely differently. Let's go back to day 1. Day 1, I sat down, pulled up my fixed expenses, and within 10 minutes I realized, the math doesn't work. Not even close. Here were my ground rules. No savings. Rent, $550. That's a shared room. This is already a compromise most people don't want to make. First hard truth of day 1, if you're living alone in most American cities, $1,000 doesn't even cover your rent. I had to choose a shared living. This is where I lived for 30 days, $550 a month. No complaints, it was clean and safe. But it meant my kitchen was a shared space. Financial experts say housing should be 30% of your income. At $1,000 a month, that's $300. Good luck finding that anywhere in America. I physically separated my cash into envelopes. Old school envelope budgeting. Once the food envelope was empty, that was it. No borrowing from transport. 5 envelopes. That's the whole system. Sounds simple. It destroyed me within the first week, and I mean that in the best possible way. Day 2. My budget. $37 per week on food. Let me show you what $37 actually buys you at an American grocery store. Rice, beans, eggs, oats, frozen vegetables, peanut butter, 1 chicken breast pack. That's it. No snacks. Breakfast for week 1, 2 eggs, black coffee. Lunch, rice and beans. Dinner, rice, beans, and whatever vegetable I had. Here's something nobody talks about. Eating the same cheap food every day doesn't just affect your body, it affects your ability to focus. A single oat milk latte at Starbucks, $7. That's 20% of my weekly food budget. Gone in 10 minutes. Before you say, just don't buy coffee. I cut coffee shops completely. Brewed at home. Saved $28 in week 1 alone. Small win, but when you have nothing, small wins compound fast. I had $100. That sounds like a lot until you realize a monthly transit pass in most American cities costs $80 to $130. America is built for cars. If you don't have one, everything costs you more time, which costs you more money. A 10-minute drive becomes a 45-minute bus ride. I walked everywhere I could. 20 minutes to the grocery store, 25 minutes to the library to work, 35 minutes to my nearest laundromat. End of week 1. I'd spent $708 and still had $291 left. That sounds like buffer. Day 8. Utility bill hit, $47 for electricity, shared among roommates, so this was my portion. The laundromat became my thinking time. An hour of waiting, nowhere to go, nothing to buy, tracking every single expense in real time. The moment I started tracking every single transaction, my spending behavior changed. The awareness alone cut my miscellaneous spending by 40%. Stop. Because here's where things get real. Day 12. I had $189 left for 18 more days. And then something happened that I did not plan for. Cracked phone screen. Cheap repair shop quoted me $85. I had $189 total left. That's nearly half my remaining budget. Here's what most financial advice misses. When you're at $1,000 a month, there is no emergency fund. There is no set-aside expenses. The Federal Reserve found that 40% of Americans can't cover a $400 emergency without borrowing or selling something. I was living that statistic. I found a third-party repair shop, $55 instead of $85. Still a gut punch, but I needed the phone to work, period. After the repair, $134 left. 17 days. That's $7.88 per day for food, transport, everything. I want to be honest here. There was a night, day 14, where I felt something I didn't expect. It wasn't just financial stress. It was shame. Day 15. Reset mode. I batch cooked 5 days of meals in one session. Rice, lentils, frozen spinach, hot sauce. 59 cents per meal. That is not an exaggeration. That's the actual math. And it tastes fine if you season it right. Week 2 taught me to attack expenses systematically. The library became my second home. Free Wi-Fi, free books, free air conditioning. Here's the mindset shift that changed week 2. I stopped thinking about what I couldn't have and started getting competitive with myself. I found a community meal program, free hot meals on Tuesdays and Thursdays at a local church. And here's what I noticed at the community meal program: the people there weren't lazy, they were working people. Day 18. Something clicked. I stopped reacting to my budget and started controlling it. I had $89 left for 12 more days. I built a weekly system. Sunday I plan every meal and every dollar. Monday to Saturday I execute. Saturday night I review. Hack I discovered in week 3. Farmers markets in the last 30 minutes of the day. Vendors would rather sell at half price than carry it back. 5 food hacks that actually saved real money. Late market shopping. Store brand everything. The difference is the label, not the product. Week 3 also taught me something about entertainment. When you can't spend money, you get creative. I read more books in this 3 weeks. Free entertainment is everywhere once you stop reaching for your wallet. Parks, libraries, free community events, walks, conversations. Day 21, $55 left. 9 days. That's $6.11 per day. Tighter than anything I'd felt yet, but I had a system now. Let me share a lesson that week 3 hammered into me. The difference between needs and wants is not abstract. By week 3 I was shopping differently, not frantically, strategically. I knew which products had the best cost per serving. If I applied the shopping habits I learned during this month to a normal income, even $50,000 a year, I'd save an estimated $4,000 annually. The irony of this whole challenge hit me in week 3. I was learning more about money management at $1,000 a month than most people learn making $80,000. I filled almost an entire notebook with observations, questions, anger, and plans. That documentation, writing it down, became the most valuable thing. 8 days left, $55 in the envelope. I made a decision. I was going to finish with money left over, not because I had to, but to prove to myself. Day 23. I volunteered at the same community meal program that had helped me. Gave 2 hours. Got a free meal in return. I mapped out every single meal for the final 8 days. I knew exactly what I'd eat for every meal before the week started. Zero improvisation. Day 25. It rained all day and I couldn't walk anywhere. Stayed in, cooked, read, thought. That kind of forced stillness when you have no money. Here's the thing about financial struggle that nobody in the personal finance space talks about honestly. It's not just math, it's psychological warfare. Research from Princeton and Harvard found that financial scarcity reduces cognitive bandwidth, your ability to think clearly and make good decisions. Day 28. 2 days left, $23 remaining. I had done it. Not perfectly. The phone repair threw me off, but I had survived a month. $23. That was my margin. $23 between surviving and failing in a system that gives millions of people no margin at all. Here's the full 30-day breakdown. $550 housing, $112 food including my community meal savings, $82 transport. Day 30. Done. And here's what I know now that I didn't know before. $1,000 a month in America is survivable, barely. Now let me give you the 3 biggest lessons from 30 days that apply to you, no matter what your income is, because what I learned in survival mode. Lesson 1, Lesson 2, Lesson 3. Let's go. Lesson 1. Track before you cut. Before you eliminate anything, you need to know exactly where every dollar goes for 30 days. Studies show the average person underestimates their monthly spending by 40%. Take out a notebook right now, after this video. Lesson 2. Free resources are a competitive advantage, not a charity. Libraries, community programs, open source software, free events. If you fully utilized free community resources available in most American cities, library services, community programs, fitness, food programs. Lesson 3, and this is the one I want you to write down. Your margin is your power. The goal of any financial life is not to look rich. Whether you make $1,000 or $10,000 a month, the person with a $50 surplus every month is more financially powerful. I started this challenge to understand a number. I ended it understanding people. The Americans living on $1,000 a month are not failing at life. 30 days, $1,000, 1 emergency, 3 major lessons, and $23 to spare. If you take one thing from this video, I'm going to keep exploring America's financial realities on this channel, not with charts and theories, but by living it. If that's the kind of honest, real content, and I want to hear from you. Have you ever had to live on a tight budget in America? What was the hardest part? Drop it in the comments. If you want to know what happens after, how people actually build their way out of this kind of financial pressure, I made a video on exactly that.